It's Madden NFL 22, and the question is, are you ready for some football? It's the 49ers and the Saints, and it comes your way next.
We are down on the bayou as you get a look inside the Caesars Superdome here in New Orleans.
Today, it's Week 12 of the NFL season, and we've got a good one in store between the San Francisco 49ers and the New Orleans Saints. The final playoff push is upon us. It's Week 12 of the NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports.
And he opts to not bring this one out. The first drive will start at the 25.
The first carry now. This is Alvin Kamara. The numbers there for Kamara from a week ago. 23 carries, 108 for the yardage and the score, too.
And give him a ton of credit. He's running the ball really well. But I look at those guys up front. That unit is truly playing as just that. Every move that they make, their teammate understands what that move means and what they need to do. And right now, they're starting to grind it out pretty well. Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Pick up a first down.
Kamara there with a first down carry, but not much running room, and he takes it forward for only a couple. It's second down.
And, Charles, despite this list of key inactives that we see here, they've obviously still been pretty successful.
Give everyone credit for this one, because to me, when that happens, key guys are out, the next man steps up and plays well, but that starts with the organization itself, all the way through. No excuses for guys being out, finding guys who are capable backups who can step up and play when they need them, and we've seen the results of that. This team knows how to work through things.
And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's second down.
Brandon, we saw these defenders flying to the football in their win last week, and nothing has changed. They're still moving around quickly and forcing incompletions.
And that is knocked away in the middle of the field and incomplete.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating the defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
Drops this off to Kamara out of the backfield. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. 3 yards, all they could muster there, and it'll bring up fourth down. And forget about the run to set up the pass. They're just coming out throwing.
Forget trying to set anything up. They feel like they have the advantage. They feel like they have the matchups, and they're just attacking right now.
Yep, going to the air on the opening drive. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the 49ers will take over deep in their own territory.
And they'll run. This is Trey Sermon.
And he'll take this up to about the 7 or 8 yard line.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout. And that means your offense has to keep pace.
He was solid last week, over 100 yards in their victory on the ground. They want to get that going again.
Absolutely. What they also understand is that from week to week, it's not necessarily the same, but they want it to be, right? What they saw last week on the ground, they want to see in this game as well.
Back-to-back 11-yard gains, and they've got another first down.
Doesn't matter whether it's a zone coverage or man coverage, the drag route can be effective when it's run well.
And they run the option here on 1st and 10.
And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27.
Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up second down. And sometimes that option can get bogged down before the gears really even get into motion, and I think that's what we saw there.
And I think what he saw defensive end right in his face, because he looked up and he was right there. Didn't even have a chance to get going.
They'll get 9 there as that sets them up better for third down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Off of play action, here's Lance.
Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll be out of bounds. After getting this one across the 40. They'll get this out quickly to Campbell. A gain of 6 there on first.
So, Charles, you talk about this offense, how well they've played. I mean, the defense, too, really. But they're sitting at 10-0 now on the year. 4-0, 5-0, that's nice. But once you start hitting double digits with these wins and no losses, I think the seriousness of the situation, it just has to ramp up.
Yeah, and when you do say 10-0, it can't scare you as a team. Just think about it this way. For most of the year, they've been playing to win their division and get to the playoffs. Now the playoffs are just about a foregone conclusion. So now they have to down-focus their thoughts about getting home field advantage and finishing unbeaten, and they need to make sure they keep it in that order.
Well, they gave themselves options there on the third down play and were able to convert on that RPO.
Shows a lot of trust with the guy taking the snap, doesn't it? Because you're counting on him to make the right reads and give the ball where it's supposed to go. And he did on that play.
And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
Now Lance on the bootleg. And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's second down.
I think that's how this defense is going to need to play these tight ends. They got to get right up on them and stay physical. And that paid off on that play, helping force that incompletion.
And he gets stopped up at the 31 after a gain of maybe a yard.
What a luxury to have a guy like this who can not only spell your starter, but can come in and keep drives going.
The 22 is the line to gain here on third down.
Throwing now is Lance.
Looking left side, that's caught by Moore.
And he is going to have a Niners first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break.
Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Lance, a give now to Sermon.
He's going to get 4 out of this as he's down to the 10-yard line.
The numbers for Sermon in last week's game, the hat trick +1, 4 trips to the end zone with his legs.
And, partner, you know how all the guys do when they do that little symbol now about eating, right? Keep feeding me, feeding me. They just kept feeding him and feeding him, and next thing you know, he kept getting in the end zone.
Out to the left, that's where the tight end Moreau is. And the 49ers are looking at 1st and goal as he's tackled all the way down at the 2-yard line. From the 2, here's 1st and goal. And they'll run with Sermon.
And he'll be taken down as that will take us to the end of the first quarter of play.
We're scoreless after 1. The 49ers with the football here to begin the second quarter. 2nd and goal from the 1. Again with Sermon.
And he'll take this into the end zone for a San Francisco touchdown.
Trey Sermon
with a lucky number 13 touchdowns now on the year.
And the Niners go nearly the length of the field and finish it off with 6 points.
Extra point splits the uprights, and it's now a 7-0 game.
Now following the touchdown, Hoff-Richter to kick off. No return there for Harris, and the drive will begin at the 25.
New Orleans Saints, they get ready to set up shop for their second drive.
And they are back down to 500 following the loss last week. Consistency has been a real issue for them so far.
Brandon, you almost don't know what team is going to show up every week. I mean, there's no consistency with this ball club at all, and if we feel that way, I know it frustrates the coaching staff, and it also has to frustrate the key leaders in the locker room. They got to figure out how to get coordinated.
And look at this. For the second straight play, the 49er defense drops him for a loss. Now we've got whistles and a timeout here. Yeah, it looks like we've got a 49er that's down on the field. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. Throwing on third down, Watson. They'll set up the screen now to Kamara. And this effort will not get it done. He stopped well short of the first down at the 29. 5 yards, not enough, and it'll be fourth down. Here comes the Saints punter now, as he'll kick it away for the second time. His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. 42-yard punt, 6 on the return. And the Niners will go on offense, 1st and 10. Back out there comes the 49ers offense, ready for their second drive. And it's only November, but the playoffs, we know how it works. They'll be here before you know it. If it ended today, they would be the #1 seed.
And that's a great spot to be in, but I love the phrase, if it ended today. And I'll guarantee you, that's what they've discussed in their locker room, in their meeting rooms. Yeah, we know where we'd be if it ended today, but we also know it's not ending today.
Right.
So they've got to continue to play the type of ball that put them in the spot where they're #1 in their conference.
And Lance's throw complete there to Moore.
And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing, playing against a good quarterback like he is, to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
On the option to give to Sermon here. 65 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here in this first half.
A good run, got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3.
The Lance going to throw. He'll find Sermon out of the backfield.
And this is going to be another first down as the tackle's made at the Saints 19.
Well, he was a busy man out of the backfield a week ago. They got him the ball early and often. I have no doubt in my mind that he'll be a big part of the game plan here as well.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw.
Oh, not sure he saw the linebacker there as that's batted down and incomplete.
Well, partner, so much for the mismatch. How about the guy at the second level, that big linebacker, able to run with the receiver and make a play on the football?
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10.
They fake the handoff. Now Lance. Throw out right, hauled in by Arcega-Whiteside. And across the chalk, into the end zone. It's a 49er touchdown. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the 49ers add 6 to their lead. Point after, right down the middle. And it's now 14-0. Now following the touchdown, Hoff-Richter to kick off. And we will not see a run back here from Harris.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. They've had it twice. They punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on third down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a first down and change our momentum?
All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted.
Picked up by Gary and Conley. And into the end zone. A pick 6 for the 49er D as they score the touchdown.
Partner, what we just saw, that's a great example of a team that was really amped up. They've been playing so well, Yet they didn't get overexcited and have a bust on defense and gave up a big play. Instead, they created their own. Big play with a pick six. This one may be over.
Yeah, it's just the first half, but that lead has swelled to the point where you're wondering if it is over already. No return there for Harris, and the drive will begin at the 25. Now Deshaun Watson and his offense heading back out there. In second quarter, they're down big already. He's struggling as well. They've got to find something here. He's got to find something on this drive.
And sometimes you take on all that extra pressure on yourself, and maybe you have to disperse it a little bit. Lean on some other people, lean on your teammates, find someone who can take the pressure off and get the ball in their hands for a while.
Or this, if he doesn't, this is getting out of hand, or it could get worse. And that is incomplete.
The scoreboard tells the story for him, a little bit bleak, and while it's not quite desperation time yet, it's definitely getting close, but the defense reads the scoreboard as well. They're going to back up and make them really earn it.
From the gun on third, Watson. He'll get this one underneath to Kamara. And a good job defensively. They stop him short of the first at the 32. They do get 7 out of that, but not enough to prevent a fourth down. Here comes the Saints punter now, as he's on here to punt it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. A 40-yard punt, no return, and possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. So here are the Niners to take over on offense. They've got the lead yet again in this ball game with their winning streak right now sitting at 10. And he'll wind up with about 6 up past the 30 to the 31.
Now, Brandon, that's the way you want to run the football. There should almost be quote bubbles above the offense right now. Bam, boom, biff. That's how they feel good about moving the football.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4.
I do know that owners, when they watch their quarterbacks running with the football, they usually hold their breath because that's the franchise. But when you're getting that kind of a gain, hard to argue against calling it.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. From the gun, Sermon. And unable to get downhill there as he'll take this up to about the 37. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. And now they'll throw with Lance. Catch made, it's Moreau.
Great job, D.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran it a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
The Niners on 3rd down. A perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. This is 3rd and 4. And a dangerous throw there as that's knocked down and incomplete. Punter Sterling Hoffrichter out now on 4th down. Deontay Harris deep for New Orleans. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. Oh, and what a play on special teams here. This is going to be down inside the 5 all the way down at the 2-yard line.
And he's got to be fired up about that effort. I don't think he could have walked down and placed it any better than where he ended up putting the football. That was excellent.
The Saints offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field. And this has not been their best half so far. They're down double digits already and now forced to operate from inside their own 5.
And what they have to do now is not curse their fate as much as focus on the task at hand. Inside their own 5-yard line, they've got to be careful of taking care of the football and not turning it over for the defense to score additional points.
And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here. Looking for Thomas, but that's intercepted.
Read it well, and it's picked. And into the end zone. A pick six for the 49er D as they score the touchdown. Extra point right down the middle. And that makes the score 28-0. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. And we will not see a run back here from Harris. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. Fresh off the pick six, it's Watson. On the check down, he finds Kamara. And he's able to get this one up to his 30 before he's out of bounds. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And it's a second down. Back to throw, Watson. This ball tipped, and it's going to be incomplete. Fortunate maybe to get that back. It's third down. Here's Watson. And that is incomplete. Throwing the football, he's not as sharp as he was last week when he was over 70%. Right now, he's under 50%.
Well, that comes from extra game film, extra time. You know those guys watched him all week, saw how precise he was, and constructed a defense to try and chip away at that. And thus far, they've been successful.
They call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And out will come the offense as they take over. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. And he's well on his way to a 100-yard game. He's already more than halfway there. We're only in the second quarter.
And what I've always loved about running backs is they'll tell you, I had no idea how many yards I had. Those guys have an innate sense of where they are in a ball game and how many yards they've accumulated, because you know they're always working towards 100.
He's been working well towards 100 here. The throw over the middle, taken in. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30.
Let's just call it what it is. This has been a flat-out struggle for this defense all game long. They've really had a hard time slowing them down. And while I'm not big on speeches and guys jumping up and down, they might need their team leader on defense to get in their face right now and light a fire under these guys. They've got to start playing better assignment football and start getting guys on the ground.
Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. And they'll run the toss here with Sermon. And this time they were waiting for him as he'll be knocked down before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the first half. And for the Saints here on third down, an extra defensive back on the field. Off the option, it's Sermon. And he will not make it to that imaginary yellow line as they get him to the ground at about the 23. They'll get 10 there, but it leaves them just short for fourth down. So we have reached halftime here with the visiting 49ers on top. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report.
Okay, Brandon, bye weeks, they're over. We've once again got a full slate of games to get to as we take you around the NFL here in Week 12.
An abbreviated halftime show as we get rolling to quarter three.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always. To you and the gang in Orlando as we welcome everyone back in for quarter number 3. It's the 49ers out in front, and they will get the football first as well as we are back and started in the second half. From a yard or two deep, here comes a return. And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21. Here comes the 49ers offensive unit as they'll have it first to begin this third quarter. And it's hard to imagine that the first half could have gone any better for them. So what's the approach here in the second half?
Just continue to play smart football because they get the other team down and they feel good about the position they're in. The obvious thing people would say is just keep attacking, but I think you also have to be smart about it. Avoid turnovers. That's about the only thing that can derail you at this point. Attack, but make sure you take care of the ball.
2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
Not much there. Maybe a couple up to the 35.
2 yards on the first down carry, and then followed up by 2 yards on the second down carry.
Well, that's definitely not going to be enough to get the job done. Wasn't the expression 3 yards in a cloud of dust?
Now they're going to need 6 on third down to keep the drive going. And, that's going to wind up incomplete. Nearly their first pick of the game, but it does bring up fourth down. And here's Hofrichter now, the punter, as he sends this one away. 47 yards on the punt that time, just 1 yard on the return. And the Saints will take over with a first down and 10. So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. They begin on the ground with Kamara, and they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. Officially, it's a 1 yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. Now Watson. Looking left sideline, but it's incomplete. He's had trouble finding open receivers all game, CD, and that's because really there hasn't been many. This defense has been all over them.
Yeah, they're one of the better defenses in the league, and every time I talk to someone around the NFL, they all say the exact same thing. They're so fundamentally sound, it's hard to execute against them.
Now a shot taken on third down, but it's going to wind up incomplete.
Well, we saw that they had a lot of success last week throwing the football, but that hasn't translated to this week. But with his team behind, I don't expect him to back off. I expect him to keep firing.
On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. Here's Beasley. 43 yards on the punt, 7-yard return, and the offense will take over with a new set of downs.
San Francisco set to go on offense once more.
They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
Again, it's Sermon.
And I think we've got a hold here. It's a 5-yard pickup for the moment. Let's see what our referee says. That hold coming from the middle of the line, the center.
And it's difficult for him because sometimes you've got people right over you, and as soon as you snap it, trying to get your hands up and block them, you can be a little bit late getting it done.
Now Lance. And he'll find Moreau here. That's a gain of 11. Would have been a first down if not for that penalty moments ago.
Let's just break this down and make it pretty simple. Key to the drag route, letting the play develop, finding the hole in the defense, and giving your athlete, yes, athlete, a chance to make something happen once he has the ball in his hands.
And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that.
It's a gain of 5, and now the question, will the offense stay out there on 4th and 1?
They'll run for it. Sermon.
And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first.
At first glance, I actually wasn't sure that he got it, but he ended up getting it by about a full yard.
He certainly did, but it took a little effort, didn't it? Took some nice push, a little crease inside, and some determined running to make sure that he got the first down.
Sermon now on 1st and 10.
And he'll be brought down at about the 42. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
So where'd all that running room that he had in the first half go? Because it looks like it's drying up a little bit here. Someone made some adjustments, it appears, at least on this drive.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, and now 3rd and 12.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
Yeah, this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on 3rd down, as that was not an easy one to hold on to. Here comes the 49ers punter now, as he'll come on to kick this one away. Out of bounds as he appeared to be looking for the corner. He got it. They're going to mark this at the 4-yard line.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. And now Watson throws another interception. Picked off with great anticipation. And into the end zone. A pick 6 for the 49er D as they score the touchdown. Extra point splits the uprights, and that makes this 35-0 now. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick 6. No return there for Harris, and the drive will begin at the 25. Back out onto the field now comes the New Orleans offense. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. Now a 1st down carry. It's Kamara. And he's got this one across midfield into 49er territory. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1. A shotgun snap for Watson. And down he goes. The 49ers get there. Javon Kinlaw has now recorded 10 sacks on the season. Gonna need something special here on 3rd and long. After that sack, what does Watson have in his arsenal? Back to throw. Watson. And it looked like he got the feet down, did he? Yes, it's a catch. A big connection on that one. 30 yards. So now then, the big play has him all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. Here's Watson. Open man is Myers. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. On 1st and 10, Watson. Open man is the tight end Troutman. A gain of 6 there on 1st.
Completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
Looking left side and completing it to Thomas. And the Saints are going to be set up with a 1st and goal coming up as they get him down at the 6-yard line. Watson looks to throw again. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
They come up here with another shot from the 6-yard line, and it's 2nd and goal now. A 10th carry for Kamara, and he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. Give him right around 4 on the carry. We'll see if they want to keep pounding here on 3rd and goal. Again, Kamara, and he takes it across and into the end zone. Touchdown, Saints. Alvin Kamara. Touchdown number 15 on the year. And the Saints are finally into the end zone here in this 4th quarter. Extra point by Blankenship is up and good. And that'll cut the lead down a bit to 28. So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. Taken in at the 3. And he'll get it up across the 20 to the 21-yard line. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big, big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept the pressure off of their own offense.
The drive starts with a carry by Sermon.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
So 4th quarter, a nice run there to start this drive. Charles, what do you think the split will be here between run and pass?
Well, partner, I think it'll lean towards the run, but this is also not a time where you just totally do that. You still have to possess the ball, move the sticks, and keep the clock moving as well. So they'll run their offense, but yeah, when they have a chance to run it, they'll do that a little bit more.
Looked like he had a couple of different options as far as who to throw to on that play. Who am I to say this, but I'm not sure he made the right decision.
Well, the window of opportunity is always going to be small in the NFL. That's why those quarterbacks who make quick decisions and have quick releases have the most success in this league.
The Niners on 3rd down. They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. This is 3rd down and 12.
That'll be complete to Sermon.
And he'll be corralled right around the 34.
Let's go, baby.
Partner, I have to tell you, just one word keeps coming to mind from watching them this afternoon, and that's impressive. They have been impressive from the opening kickoff, and they haven't let up here even into the 4th quarter.
They give to Sermon out of the gun.
And he'll get this only up to about the 35. Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces, and I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
A couple of 1st downs on the drive already, as they'll go from the 47 now on 1st down.
To the right side, this is Sermon pushing through the contact.
And he's going to take this across the 50 and into Saints territory.
99 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple.
Lance giving it to Sermon now on the option.
Only a yard on the pickup, so from a good situation on 2nd and 2, it's now 3rd and 1.
And that last carry puts him right at 100 yards for the game. So how has he done it? Because he's been patient, followed his blocks, let everything develop, and then burst through for big gains.
And Sermon is not going to get there. Great work defensively to stop him short.
He needed 2, he got 1, and that's going to leave him with 4th down and a yard. This late in the game, Charles, I think you maybe seriously have to think about going for it.
Especially where they are in terms of field position, because this is almost like no man's land. Might hurt your punter because there might not be enough space, maybe too far for your field goal kicker. I'm like the old rule. Possession is 9/10 of the law. Possession is 9/10 of winning the game. Go for it, get the 1st down, close it out.
They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old-school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw it through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. And he gets it down to the 32.
I've got an idea. Let's skip racing to the airport at the end of this game. Let's go to the post-game press conference. I have a feeling that the quarterback of this winning team is going to be giving a whole lot of credit to the running game and the offensive line.
Yeah, I was just going to say the offensive line. Yes, carrying the ball has been key, but those guys up front, they've made a lot of space. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair.
Let's go. Let's bring it.
So it's 49er football here as we get you reset. They've got a second down now as they look to salt this one away. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. A gain of 4 last play. They double that here and get 8.
At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
On second down, it's Sermon.
And here he'll get it down to the 7.
The running game's played a huge part in getting them down to this point on the field. I say stay with it. Keep pounding the football. Keep driving. Keep grinding.
Yeah, even down in the red zone, keep going for it.
No doubt about it. Dance with what brung you.
So the victory here for San Francisco, and it was their defense that really paved the way to this victory as they allowed the 1 touchdown, and that was all she wrote.
Almost want to do the defense